All right, so the first thing that I want to talk about is what exactly is Flutter? To be able to answer this question, we first have to put ourselves into the mind of a mobile app developer. So here's one. This is Bob, and he's an iOS developer. Now, Bob made this really cool app where instead of matching with other people, you get to match with foods and you get to figure out what food you most want to eat. And it's a super popular app. Everybody loves it. But there's just one problem. It's only on iOS. So every other, when is it coming to Android? And at some point, he finally has had enough and he decides to go and buy loads and loads of books, study Java, study Android development, and finally, he's able to have both of these buttons on his website, get it on Google Play, and download on the App Store. So he now has the same app on the Google Play and the App Store. Now, this is great for the users, but for Bob, it means that when he has any updates that he wants to make to the app or any bug fixes, he has to push those both to one. And he has to maintain two code bases. So that's a lot of work down the line. It's basically double the amount of work that he used to have. But that's not all, because he gets complaints from users saying that, hey, in your app, some of the layouts look really weird. It doesn't look right. Like, why is this button like twice the size of everything else? What is wrong with your app? Now, this is because not only does he have to support a huge array of different screen sizes and the iPhones, the older iPhones, but he also now has a whole bunch of Android devices. And because Android devices can be made by literally anybody, the number of different screen sizes is just massive. And it's really hard to keep on top of what are all of the different screen sizes in order to be able to design your app to look good on all of them. Now, here's where Flutter comes in. The got everywhere. There's screens on fridges, there's screens at the bus stop, there's screens in your mirror, and they're all different aspect ratios and different screen sizes. So, why can't we create developers to design beautiful interfaces for all of these different types of screens? And this is exactly what Flutter is. It's simply a toolkit that makes it easy for developers to design beautiful interfaces for all sorts of screen sizes and devices. And it comes with a whole bunch of pre built widgets that make it easy to lay out your app. So, straightforward things such as laying out your app with rows or with columns or stacks. And it borrows some of the concepts from web design, where you can have things that are centered or have paddings and margins. And what if you could use this system to design and develop for almost any device? Because all that Flutter does is it asks for a blank window on the device. So, be it on Android or iOS or web or desktop, all it's asking for is just a simple blank window. And what Flutter will do is it will draw onto that blank window whatever it is that needs to be rendered, and whatever animations or interactions or changes, it's all painted on by Flutter. So this means that instead of having to make iOS apps the Apple way and make Android apps the Android way, you can simply use a whole bunch of pre button or a linear progress indicator, and you can simply put this into your app no matter which platform you're working on. And they've even designed widgets that look the part for each platform. So, for example, the alerts might look like that if your app is being run on iOS, then they should look like this, making your app look like it was created in a native way. This is how Flutter works. You get access to a whole bunch of widgets. So you can see these widgets as Lego blocks almost. And by plugging them together and customizing it, you end up with your beautiful app that can be deployed almost anywhere. Let's take a look at how easy it can be working with widgets in real life. I've created a blank app and I'm going to go ahead and add an app bar. And this is a pre-built widget, which is built by Flutter. And as soon as I hit save, my app bar gets painted onto the screen. So I don't like it in blue. So let's customize it to change it to red. So now I add a colors widget and I change the color. So now let's add a text widget that adds a title to the app bar. And just like Lego, I've plugged together all my widgets and I've managed to build my app bar in a matter of seconds. And there's loads of different widgets that are pre-built. For example, if you wanted a floating action button, then we just create that widget and we can customize it by changing its properties, such as the background color or what should go inside it. Piece by piece, widget by widget, I can build up my app and customize it to my liking with very few lines of code. Now, what if I wanted some functionality? Well, I can simply create a variable to keep track of, say, the number of donuts that I've eaten in a day. And I can change my text field to embed that number variable in there. And then all that happens is when the user presses on the red button, then it will increase the number of donuts that I've eaten. And Flutter makes it incredibly easy to build a beautiful interface for our app using these widgets, as well as allowing us to customize the widgets to our liking. And finally, building functionality on top of those widgets is also as simple as updating a number of variables. And that we're going to dive into. So now that I've created my donut counter app, the best part is I can now deploy that code to all sorts of different devices and platforms without having to rewrite the code
Okay. Hi, I'm really excited to show you what we have on board today. And welcome to Flutter Day Cluster webinar by our over 30 communities across Africa and a lot of people joining us over the world. And it's floated out with me here on the screen. Make some fun out there. I'm really excited to see other people joining the call. And we're really excited to see that we are welcoming you guys from wherever you're watching us. So that's a brief introduction of Flickster before Rihanna comes on to take a section. So I just want to say welcome on board, and we're going to learn amazing things today. Our first amazing speaker is coming on board. I'm going to introduce her in just about a few seconds without much time. Then later on, we're going to have Anga taking on this section as well. So stay tuned and stay connected. And big shout out, SK. You have anything to tell us in the beginning?
Yeah, hello everyone, and I'm super excited to have everyone join us this evening. And I hope you enjoyed
So
every session.
hi everyone. So
Okay.
I'm actually going to invite our amazing speaker for the day today now, which is in person of Rihanna. Rihanna is the organizer for GGG Room, a Google developer expert as well, and an ambassador for women tech makers as well too. So he is with us here to share amazing knowledge regarding Flutter, and we can't wait to get started. So I'm bringing in Rihanna. Hi, Rihanna.
Hello. Hi,
Hi.
everyone. Hi, Slick. How are you?
Uh, Hi, hey, how are you? How are you? Okay. Um, so in just few minutes, I'm actually going to go off, so I could actually allow Rena to start. So you can go. So we get started. Thank you,
All
Rena.
right.
Over to you. The floor is open to you.
Thank you. Can I share my screen? Okay. Um, hello everyone. Really pleased to be here. Thanks for the invitation. Today I will be talking about Flutter, uh, obviously because it's Flutter Day after all. I will give you a gentle introduction into Flutter, and we will see the very basics of Flutter and how Flutter works. And at the end, I will leave you all the links, documentations, and materials necessary to getting started with Flutter and become a hero. So, who am I? I am Rihanna. I am an Ethiopian software engineer based in Italy. I love communities. I am a Women Techmakers ambassador, a Google Developers Group lead in Rome, and a Google Developer expert in web technologies, Flutter, and Dart. So, first thing first, what is Flutter? Flutter is a tool that allows us to build cross-platform applications. And more precisely, it is a UI toolkit for building beautiful and natively compiled applications for mobile, meaning Android and iOS, web and desktop, all from a single code base. And when we say single code base, meaning a single learning a single programming language. So Flutter provides us a collection of tools that allows us to write the one single code that runs in different devices and platforms also. These tools can compile can help us to compile in a native code, and also tools that can help us to develop with ease. Flutter also provides us a library of widgets, a collection of reusable UI blocks, such as buttons, text box, drop-downs, menus, containers, and so on, along with the utility functions and packets with which we build our Flutter application. So Flutter provides us all we need to create beautiful and attractive apps with no compromises for a design, and you can get creative as much as you want in the application that we are developing. And how? Well, Flutter controls every pixel in our screen. Flutter includes a complete set of widgets that deliver pixel-perfect experience across all the devices. And it offers everything we need to create a beautiful interface, either in material design style or an interface similar to a native iOS app, thanks to its Cupertino widgets. And if we are not happy, that can happen also, it allows us to create or extend our own widgets for a highly personalized, tailor-made experience. This way, designers don't have to compromise on their vision or either on their creativity. At the same time, apps built using Flutter are fast and responsive to iteration. Fast because it is powered by a Skia 2D graphics engine, which enables hardware-accelerated graphics at 60 frames per second. From the start, Flutter it was designed to be able to support glitch-free and junk-free graphics at the display's native speed. And the Flutter code is compiled into native machine code, so the finished application code does not pass through virtual machines or interpreters or other mechanisms as the competitors of Flutter do. For example, React Native does. That makes a Flutter app really fast in animating and really fast when we are interacting with the Flutter apps. Flutter makes us also very productive. The development cycle is very fast, actually faster than native development. Once we'll practice coding in Flutter and learn its fundamentals, it is really fast to develop an app in Flutter compared in developing with some other frameworks or with other competitors, or even faster than developing native apps. So that is because Flutter introduces a revolutionary new ability for developers and designers to iterate over their apps in real time. This is called the hot reload, which allows us to change the code of your app and see the change that we are making real time in our simulators or either in a connected device, which means when we are developing, we will see the changes we made directly in the simulator or the connected device. And hot reload transforms the way we build an application, making developers up to 3 times more productive and allowing you to focus on new features faster instead of the development environment, or either instead of developing, writing code, and then testing or checking your code after you deploy. Flutter is also open source and has a really, really great support from the online community. And thanks to the support currently on various metrics, such as Stack Overflow questions and so on, it has also surpassed React Native. I repeat React Native because one of the major competitors of Flutter is React Native. Flutter is relatively young at the end. Here is the timeline of Flutter. It was released by Google in 2017 in its alpha version on May. It's almost 3 years old, but it's growing really fast. There is a very strong support from the community. And as we see in the graph, here is the trend of 2020 on Stack Overflow. And as we can see, it is surpassing React Native, which means it's growing and it's on demand. And even if it's young, it's getting stable, and so on. I previously mentioned that Flutter uses one programming language, and that is Dart. Flutter SDK is written in Dart, and while developing, we used Dart. Dart is a very strong, flexible, and easily learnable programming language from Google. Before learning Flutter, it is good to know a bit of Dart. It's an object-oriented language, so knowing a basic of object-oriented concepts won't hurt, obviously. Dart, it was widely used for web. It was launched in around 2011, but it's becoming a general-purpose language. And Dart can be compiled just in time and also ahead in time. And the dynamism of Dart allows, on one hand, to have a development environment fully targeted to the needs of a developer. And then, at the end, when we build a final execution mode based on the needs of an app that is going in production. In fact, during the development of a Flutter app, this will be performed by interpreting the code as we write the code. And thanks to Dart, we have hot reload. And finally, when we are ready to release the app, when the app is ready and the final files are built, the code is instead compiled with all the benefits in terms of speed, fluidity, and so on. And to really get started developing Flutter apps, the very, very first step is to set up the environment on your machine. I won't go through all the details, but you can find all the requirements and the steps in the link below. And once you have the SDK and you did the very first step for the setup, you can build apps with Flutter using any text editor, but it's always recommended using one of the supported editors for an even better experience. So you can choose the one you prefer between Android Studio or IntelliJ or Visual Studio Code or Emacs. Each editor has plugins and extensions that will assist you with code completion, syntax highlighting, widget editing, running, debugging support, and so on. You can check out the link for more info and for the setup of your preferred editor in the link below. I am going to share my slides at the end, so don't worry if you get the links. And if it's not the case to go through all the installation and the setup process, then you can start to play with Flutter also online. You can use dartpart.dev website, which is a playground to start with Flutter, where you have some samples of Flutter. You can open, play around, modify the code, and see and start learning Flutter also there. And another online editor that supports Flutter is CodePain. There you have different templates and samples from where to start from. There are cool examples that you can check out. You got all the code you want in a single page, and it is a good way to start and play because you will see the changes right away in your window browser while you are playing with the code. So let's say you set up and you are in front of your very first Flutter project. To fully understand Flutter, we need to understand its project structure, so we can know which file and folder do what and why they exist. The files and folders that we mainly use are okay. There are lib. The folder is lib. Lib is the folder where we write our Flutter code. Here you see also Android and the iOS directories. These directories hold a complete Android and iOS app respectively with all their respective files, and whenever you want to implement any platform-specific feature, you can implement it by going in these directories, but there are folders that we really touch in extreme cases. We usually don't touch these folders. Another important file in the project structure, it is the pubspec.yaml. This file is a special file. It contains your app name, description, the Flutter SDK version that we are using, dependencies, and other important stuff such as plugins we are using in our Flutter app. The other directory is the test directory, where we put our tests, our code for testing Flutter app. And at the end, wrapping up, the main directory where we will write our Flutter app is the lib directory. Obviously, we are using a single programming language, that is Dart, and that means the files we write are in Dart, and that's why they will have an extension .dart. And the main file, which is an entry point or a starting point for each Flutter application, is the main.dart file. So in lib directory, I said that in lib directory we start to code our Flutter application. But before seeing some code, one of the things that is really important to know in Flutter is that everything is a widget in Flutter. Every piece of the user interface that we see in our Flutter application is a widget, and even the whole app itself, it's a widget. Widgets are the building blocks for any app built with Flutter, and their functionality varies from providing a framework for your entire app, like the scaffold widget, to accepting inputs, text fields, containers, or styling widgets, or either centering or padding widgets. Every widget has its own particular purpose in Flutter, and as a Flutter developer, you will build your application through composition, meaning putting individual widgets together until they add up to become the app you are creating. Flutter provides us a very wide widget catalog, currently containing over 390 widgets. Below the link of the catalog, where you can start to browse and check out the widgets that we are available to start composing our Flutter application. So, are we expected to know all the widgets? Not really, but knowing how to browse them, where to find them, or how they are classified, sure, that will be a good help. As we start to compose and practice, some widgets are very common and we will learn them in few time, and some we'll start to check and discover them in the catalog as we need them while developing. Flutter gives us also the possibility to extend the widgets or create our own customized widget, starting with the layout-related widgets with a single child, or widgets that contain a list of child widgets or padding or column, row, list view, and so on. This will become widgets that we will use commonly, and we will get very familiar with them in a really few examples or practices we do starting with Flutter. At the same time, also we have animation widgets, and we have widgets that are material component widgets for having a materialized user interface. Or on the other hand, we'll have a Cupertino widgets that gives us an iOS-like feeling user interface for our application. Now let's start to see a very silly Flutter app. If we have all the setup in our machine and we create a Flutter app, by default, it will be created this counter app, which is a very silly app with a button, and clicking the button will change the text, the number text. The number text will count how many times we click the button. Every time we start a new Flutter project, there is a single line of code that most of the times we don't need actually to change. This line ensures that our Flutter app is started and shown to the user. And the main function actually is the entry point of our application, telling Dart where it should start running our code. And at this point, obviously, inside the run app, we will have a widget. Widgets can be of two types, just two types, the stateless widget or a stateful widget. The widgets from the catalog can be of a stateless type or stateful type, or a stateful type. At the same time, the widgets that we create can be just of stateless or a stateful type. It's really important to understand the difference between this typology of widgets. Default examples of stateless widgets are image, icon, text, container widgets, and so on. And default examples of stateful widgets are widgets that, for example, for animation, widgets for getting inputs, like checkbox or text box widget, or animation or either scrollable, and so on. So stateless widgets are, of course, stateless. You basically draw your widget once and that is it. It's not made to change in any way, but rather just simply shows what is defined inside it. As I said, default example is a text, for example, or either a container widget. Stateless widgets can have input data. They cannot change that input data, and they don't hold data that changes inside them. If that changes externally, I mean, if the data that is given as input is changed externally, they will be simply re-rendered. And referring to the counter app, to the default counter app, here is the example of a stateless widget. When we create a stateless widget, we extend a stateless widget class, and all widgets have the build methods in Flutter. That's a method that should be overridden. That is where we define what should be rendered in the screen. and what task will have that portion of our widget. In the other hand, stateful widget can still have input data, but the main difference is that they have data inside that will change. So it means that they maintain an internal state, and if data changes internally, whereas the internal state get updated, that will cause a re-render too. And obviously, they will be re-rendered also when data that they got as input will change externally. And here is how we define a stateful widget. This snapshot of code is taken also from the starter Flutter application. We have a class extending the stateful widget, and we create an internal state. And to update the state, we use the setState method. Every time the setState method called, the widget will be re-rendered. Flutter will take care for us for the part of optimizing the rendering or maintaining the render tree in a performant way and changing only the portion of the widget in our interface that is subject to an update. That said, as Flutter Developer, I said we compose the widgets in order to build our application. Here's the example of the same starter Flutter app, how to compose. So by composition means by using the different widgets that we have in the catalog or the widgets that we created if we want, and putting them together. So here we have the scaffold widget, which is like let's say a big container where we can put the app bar widget. There's a text widget. There is a center widget, which is a layout widget that will help us to center our contents. We'll have the text, another text widget, and we have a button, a floating action button. We have an icon widget. So composing and creating Flutter app means knowing the different widgets and putting them together, giving them some styling, or either defining their properties and as I was mentioning before, if things change inside our widget, deciding if we use a stateless widget or a stateful widget, and if you use a stateful widget, knowing when the data that needs to be changed should be updated, and if we want to update, we use setState. So this is more or less what a Flutter developer will do while creating the user interface of the Flutter application. But for now, we just explore the user interface part of developing a Flutter app. Usually, when we develop apps, we need more than that, obviously. Sometimes we need to explore if there are available packages written by someone else that does the same thing that we are looking for or we want to develop or implement, and we want to just import that and use that in our application instead of like recreating the new one by ourselves. In other times, we need to interface with specific platform features such as locations, Bluetooth, camera, audio, and so on, which are provided differently from platform to platform. In this case, we use Flutter plugins. Most of the plugins are already developed and maintained thanks to the contribution of the community. We specify our plugins in our pubspec.yaml file, and we go through the guide offered by the plugins documentation to use the feature inside our widgets. In case if we don't find anything that can work for us, even in this case, we can write our own plugins. Of course, plugins interface with the platform-specific features. If we want to write a really specific feature, we have to know how to develop native in the native code for that platform. Meaning, if we want a feature that is needed to just interface with the Android device, we develop in Android, or if it's for iOS, we develop in Swift language, and we wrap that and we put it as a plugin, and we use that in our Flutter application. So to see if there are existing plugins, so we can go to pub.dev site and check the list of plugins, choose from those that are available for the needed feature. The higher the score is the better, and we implement according to the plugin documentation. And as I said, anytime we use the plugin, we define that inside the dependencies in our pubspec.yaml file, and we are ready to use the plugins, what the plugins offer. So this is just an overview of, in general, how Flutter works. Flutter is not the only framework for developing cross-platform applications. To list some of the competitors, we have React Native, as I was mentioning before, or either Ionic or NativeScript, and so on. But why Flutter is unique? To answer to this question, let's see Flutter's architecture. Here, the green part in the is the Flutter SDK, written entirely in Dart. Apps made with Flutter come with built-in user interface widgets, material design for Android or either Cupertino for iOS. We have the different widgets, the rendering and the animation, the painting, the gesture widgets there. And we have the foundation library, which provides us with the basic classes and functions used to build applications that use Flutter, such as APIs to communicate with the engine and so on. Then we have the thin blue layer, which is written in C and C++ in case of mobile apps. And it's that part of code which guarantees performance clearly superior to its competitors. Is the layer that also contains the Skia rendering, the Skia rendering engine. And in the other part, we said Flutter can run as a mobile app or either as a web or desktop app. Here is the architecture for the web app. In case of we are developing for web, the app layer of the Flutter SDK, which means the green part, is unchanged, is the same as the architecture for mobile app. Here, what changes is just only the blue layer, that is, instead of having the engine for the mobile app, it has the rendering engine for web, because obviously different platforms and different suitable rendering engines. And when we build the Flutter app, the app contains inside the rendering engine. And that's what makes Flutter unique. Flutter is different than most other options for building mobile apps, because Flutter uses its own high-performance rendering engine to draw widgets. That is what makes Flutter unique and performant. It uses neither a web view, for example, in case of Ionic, if someone here develops in Ionic, or native widgets that are shipped with the device, for example, as React Native does. But it's simply each application that we develop in Flutter will have its rendering engine inside the application. And that's how Flutter controls each pixel in our device or screen. So the roadmap of Flutter is to run on every screen, device, and platform, and control each pixel in that device. Let's see the current status for different platforms. There is no need to say for developing apps for Android and iOS, it is stable. As per July, there are over 90,000 Flutter apps downloadable from Google Play Store, which means for mobile, we are okay. We can start developing our mobile application in Flutter with no worries for the stability or being sure that that is the right technology to choose. For web, it's in beta version for now. It is not recommended really to release applications in production, but you can build web apps from the same single Dart code or Flutter code that you write for your mobile application, and check if that runs in the web, and also deliver it if it works for you. On the other hand, for the desktop applications, for macOS and for Linux, it's in alpha version, while for Windows application is in the technical preview, which will make it maybe the last one to be deployed at the end, when the others, for macOS and for Linux, hopefully will get to a stable version soon. So what is the idea behind developing a Flutter in Flutter? So generally the idea is to develop once, compile the same code to native app for different platforms, use just a single code, obviously, single language, and the same widgets that you've developed. Use a single command line that will help you to build into native app. This is not the case yet, but that is the roadmap. As I said, not yet for web and desktop applications, but still, it is great to know that the mobile application that you're writing now can be, in the future, compiled to any application that can run in any platform. Wrapping up, Flutter allows us to create beautiful, fast, engaging, animated, and very interactive applications. We use one language, and so we are required to learn just that. We write once, and we can build it to mobile app, web app, and desktop app. So how to get started with Flutter, or how to get familiar with it? Here are my personal tips to start to learn and getting familiar with Flutter. If you have experience in developing applications for other platforms, then you can learn Flutter really fast. In the official Flutter website, there is a brief documentation for the developers who are from another platform like Android, iOS, React Native, Xamarin, or Web. You can check the docs in the link here in the official Flutter website and see how Flutter relates to one of the technologies that you are used to develop already. On the other hand, if you are a newbie, Flutter is very easy to learn. Even if you have never coded, still the fact that you can play with the playgrounds online, as in the .dev or codepen.io, or either play around and see in your machine and see the changes that you are making live, that will really help to learn fast Flutter. And Flutter can be learned by watching videos, doing available code labs. There are a lot of code labs available, reading documentations and blogs, seeing examples, and obviously practicing. And if you can find a friend in your community to learn with, that will be really great. That's how I started Flutter. I will share my slides on Twitter or the YouTube channel, or I will share to the organizer so they can share it to you. Each link here, each text here will bring you to a link of documentations that you will have listed, different examples, videos, free courses, the documentation sites, the blogs, and so on, where you can start and play and practice. So I'm almost done. Happy fluttering. Thank you again for being here, and I'll be answering your questions if any. That will be the end for me as a Flutter introduction.
Hi, Rena. That was amazing. That was an
Thank
amazing
you.
section. So much. We're going to be pulling on some questions taking off in the next 10 minutes. So we're going to be taking questions from the screen. So at SK, you could help us out to put up questions on the screen. So you can ask a
Okay.
question. Now it's time for you to ask questions. So we just take a few questions and okay, my questions. The first one said, why are Flutter apps large in size compared to native?
Oh, well, basically, we can say a starter Flutter app, it's a bit bigger than a native app because inside it's bringing the rendering engine actually. So mostly that's the reason Flutter brings its engine itself in the rendering engine itself inside the application. But there are a lot of ways to, I mean, not ways, but hacks to reduce the sizes. But mainly the reason is because the Flutter render engine is inside actually the application that we are shipping. So that is
Okay.
to answer for your question. But still, you can gain with being creative as much you want.
Okay, thank you. So to write Flutter, what do I have to learn that? That's the next question.
Oh, Flutter is written in Dart, and it requires to know Dart. So, yeah. But when you have to learn Flutter, Dart for Flutter, I recommend to go through Dart examples that I will have them linked also. So you'll have the different links to start with learning Dart. Just go through 2 hours of Dart learning and go straight to Flutter and play with that, and that will just come easily to learn Flutter along with Dart.
Okay, thank you. So the next question is, what is the learning curve of Dart and Flutter? Flutter.
Well, I must say it depends on your previous experience, but starting even from scratch, comparing Flutter with other technologies that can give you the same kind of capacity to create cross-platform, I think it's the one that will take less time possible. But yeah, it just depends. The learning curve is really low. It just depends on your previous experience. But even if you start from scratch, still it's the very easy thing to learn compared to other technologies.
Okay, thank you. Somebody said, okay, why? What do you mean by Flutter have its own rendering engine?
Well, Flutter, it means that Flutter it will bring in your app its rendering engine, which is Kia 3D, and that rendering engine will render your application. So yeah, it means that usually on native applications we use native components, UIs. For example, the button in Android is a device-related button, and we use that to render. Instead of Flutter, when we develop in Flutter, Flutter will just render its own button, which means it has to use an engine to do that, and that is what I mean by Flutter has its own rendering engine. It means that we are not, when we build for example, for Android, we are not using a device-specific button of Android, but we are using our own button created from scratch thanks to the rendering engine of Flutter. That's what I mean by rendering engine. Usually applications that are written in Android, native
Okay,
Android,
thank you,
they are
Rena, for
the
that.
same. Okay.
So we have this. Somebody said the learning curve is not that steep. Um, Somebody said the learning curve is not that steep. You can learn that as you go. And the use course is perfect for people who are new to coding with our course, and your learning might take a month actually. So that's exciting thing. We have amazing prizes to be won, over 20, and the use course, Flutter Masterclass course for free. So that's an amazing one, guys. If you're still on this course, stay tuned. We're going to be sharing more free courses for you to have free masterclass course to Andela use in this. You're winning a lot of stuff today, so that's amazing. So do I have any more questions on the screen? I think you have to follow up a poll. So maybe
I lost.
can you put on the poll back so we can? So you can drop your feedback. Can we have the poll up? Okay, so any other questions, you can actually drop it. We have just 5 minutes left for Rihanna section before Anger comes in. So if you still have questions, you can. So if you have a question, you can just click on this link to be part of a live poll question. So you can drop, click on the link in the comment section so we can have it. So if there's any more questions, we can just carry on it. So 2 minutes more, guys. Any other question? Let's have it on the screen. Okay. Okay, so what's the most beautiful thing do you like about Flutter framework? Okay, amazing, amazing. So some people say capacity, right? Some people say auto reload, everything Flutter. Some people say AWS capacity also. So Rihanna, so what is the most exciting thing you like about Flutter framework? What do you really like?
For me, okay, let's say I was an Android developer first. I started my career as Android developer. Then I was a web developer, and I was wondering which framework to choose to really develop cross-platform. When I saw Flutter the first time, I said, oh, maybe it's the same thing as we are going through. I mean, I did some developing in Cordova. Someone knows Cordova. Then I did something with React Native and blah, blah. So I thought it was like, oh, maybe it's the same thing over and over, but they don't give you really the performant application as a native app. So when I discovered Flutter, I just really loved it. And I like the part that the hot reload, that is amazing. That is really time saving. And also having already stylized widgets, because you have like nice widgets free, and you start to compose, and it's declarative also writing. So altogether, it makes it a bit easy to create awesome things, which for what I remember, for doing the same thing for Android, it was really not that easy. And using web technologies that's the same thing, because to be good in web technologies, at least you have to be familiar with three languages, with three things. I mean, with CSS, JavaScript, and HTML. So putting all this together at the end, I think that's why I'm in love with Flutter. It makes it really easy to create a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing starting from just an empty container, which is already stylized with colors and everything, and buttons that are already stylized and everything. So you just have to put things together and go ahead. So that's the reason why I love Flutter, and obviously because it's really cross-platform. I mean, I previously did talks on Flutter for Web, which is getting there, not yet stable, but it's really nice, I think. Hopefully to have it in stable version also for desktop and web. So that is my reason.
Okay, thank you very much. So somebody asked, is Angela U courses free? No, not free, but you joining Rihanna in this section, you will definitely have an opportunity to win some. So stay tuned as we have it. So in lastly, Brianna, before you leave, so in just 2 sentences, what will you have to say to newbies or people trying to join to do Flutter? What will you tell them and how to go about it quickly?
Quickly, a single course. If it's Angela, it's okay. I did Angela course at the start, really start of Flutter. Go through a single course, learn the documentation, because knowing the official documentation will help you reduce a lot of time browsing around. See as much examples as you can. And my suggestion all the time is find someone that is in the same state of you that you can learn together. So just start from a simple thing, and Flutter makes it really, I think, easy to play and see what you are doing. So just play as much as you can, but official documentations are important. Keep track of what you are doing by doing simple examples and putting them together. And if you can, take one course. There's also a YouTube course that was released on Flutter Day, on the Flutter Day actually. It's a 5 hours course. I linked that one too in my slides. That is a good start. Just choose one, go through it, reach at the point. Be curious really. Once you are developing, see, okay, what if I do this one? What if I do this one? How I can animate in this way instead of that way? So putting all this together, that will, I think that this is my suggestions in general.
Wow, awesome. Thank you so much, Rihanna, for joining this. Everybody's excited about your section and so much excitement and tweets around you. And people are really happy to connect as well. So you can connect with Rihanna on Twitter at Rihanna _KE. And we share that. Also, so we're going to share Rihanna is going to share us the slides, so we'll share it everyone, and we're so excited about you. So thank you for the first section. Thank you for having you. Us. You're so awesome, Rihanna. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's really great to participate in something organized by 30 communities. This is my first time, 30 communities together. I don't know how huge was that to be able to organize. That's awesome. So really, a really nice clap for you guys. And thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
So everyone, we are so excited. We are still on the Flutter mood, and we have some amazing prizes to be won. So straight up, our second speaker, another amazing section is coming your way, and I'm promising you, this is amazing. Imagine you using Flutter with Arduino as an IoT stuff to actually on light and power all the light off in your room with your phone. It's amazing. Come on, guys. So this is going to go down next, and I'm going to invite Hanga. Hanga is Hanga. Join me on screen. Is Hanga. Hanga
Hello, hello everyone.
is there's the GDE, that's the Google Developer expert in from Indonesia, and he's actually been doing community thing for a while, and he's going to do more introduction himself. So thanks for having you. So over to you, Anga, as you give us another amazing section.
Okay, thank you, Slick. Okay, I'll start. I hope you guys hear me loud and clear here. I'm sorry if my sound isn't really loud enough. It's 11 p.m. here. I hope you guys understand. I can be really loud at 11 p.m. So I will going to explain today. By the way, sorry. Thank you, GDG and DSCs across Sub-Saharan Africa for having me today. And I'm today going to explain about how do I implement simple IoT with Flutter and Arduino to do basically, this. Yeah. Wait a minute. So I will get started immediately. So here's my name. My name is Angga Dwi Arifandi. I'm a Google developer expert in Flutter from Indonesia. I have been a GDE for Flutter for about, I think 1 month here. I really love Flutter. Probably been using it since 2018. So quite a long time, around 2 years. I also do Android native development as well. Also, Python development on the side as well, using Django and something exploring on the side. So this is my social media. If you guys are wondering, I usually wrote open source codes on GitHub. I also write articles about Flutter at my Medium as well. And then I also occasionally tweets about Flutter in my Twitter as well. And then here's my email. If you have any question about Flutter, probably for mobile development as well, you can just ask me. I'll be happy to answer that. Okay, so first, I think this talk isn't going to be like really newbie friendly, I would say, but I will try my best to explain it like so thoroughly and clearly, so you guys understand how basically these things that I built are working. So first, I'm going to talk about Flutter development these days. Like Rihanna already explained, Flutter has like this rapid development over these past 2 years, right? A lot of achievements, a lot of milestones. A lot of people are starting to talk about Flutter, and it's basically the hype of the mobile technology these days, right? So what are the achievement of Flutter these days? First would be Flutter 1.2. So it's currently being released. There's an article about a month ago by Chris Sales explaining what is new for this stable version, what is improved, what is being fixed by the Flutter team. Basically, this is awesome. I think a lot of improvement, especially if we compare to the first version. Today's version is much more stable than before. Also, I think like a week or 2 weeks ago, Flutter has just reached 100K, and I just checked again this morning my time. It's already hitting 102K. So like very, I think that this says that a lot of people have been really loving Flutter as a framework to use for the daily needs, for the company needs. So yeah, it's really amazing. But I was wondering, after all of this, can we actually use Flutter for more experimental stuff? Basically, let's say if we usually use Flutter to create an application, a mobile application in that matter, and then yeah, basically that's it. But can we make it improve it like one more level? Can we do that? And the answer is yes, definitely we can do that. And I'm going to explain it to you. Probably just one example. I think there would be like tons of example aside from my example that I will explain you after this. But yeah, so what do we want to build today? Will be explained. Actually, I think probably I already explained that, but it will be explained by this video. So let's watch it for a bit. Okay, yeah, so that's basically the app. So what I name it the app Flutter Lamp. What the app does is basically, it remembers the state of our lamp. For example, this is my room lamp. Is it turning already turn on, or is it turning off right now? And then in click button, we can basically change the switch. If it was turned on before, we can switch off, or probably the opposite. And then we can also recalibrate the lamp state. For example, if the state inside the application isn't really matching with the actual state from the lamp, we can recalibrate it, so it will be synced once again. Okay, so first I'm going to explain in a nutshell how it works. So basically, this is the communication sim. So how it does is basically you can see on the left here, the smartphone was installed with the Flutter app, and then the smartphone has to have infrared blaster in it, and then it will basically transmit an infrared signal. And then that signal will be received by an infrared sensor, and that after the sensor is being received, the infrared sensor will tell the Arduino, which is basically the brain of this whole project, I would say. And then the Arduino will process that signal and then decide if the Arduino will, switch on or basically switch off the lamp, which will be done by the relay actuator, which will be connected directly to our electric circuit inside our home or probably inside our room. Okay, so the prerequisite here, what will we need in order to make this project? Hopefully this will be clear enough. Okay, first was smartphone with infrared blaster here. There are some manufacturers, also some device types that already supports infrared blaster inside. For example, I have Huawei and then a lot of Xiaomi device, LG as well, and I think Samsung has some device support this feature as well. The reason that I use infrared is basically because mainly because it was the simplest means of communication. I will explain later if there's any types of communication that we can use other than infrared, but yeah, we'll get to that later. Next one was the board, or basically the brain of this whole project. I use Arduino Uno here. We can use other board as well. I will explain it in the next set of slides as well. Also for the Arduino Uno, I think I've searched on Amazon and I think it costs around $20 now, probably just for your information. Also, next one was the infrared sensor. So we need this to intercept the infrared signal that is being sent from our mobile phone, and then it will be, continued to the board or Arduino Uno, and it costs around $2. Next was the relay actuator. Relay actuator was basically used for almost all IoT projects to switch the electricity on or off. It can be used for many things, basically not only the electric circuit inside our home. Probably we can use it with a battery as well. Basically everything that has electricity. So how does it work is basically in a nutshell. So it has three switch, right? Let's name it A, B, and C. So the default was the A and B side were connected. So let's say if I put an electric cable here, let's say it's the positive one, and then if I put the negative one here, so basically it will connect because it is connected, right? The A and B. But if I put the cable in B and C, then it will not connect because the connected one was A and B, not B and C. The way to basically connect the B and C was basically switch the relay. So that is what I did on this project myself as well. So by the default, I only connect, my electric circuit inside my room to A and B. So in default, it will always be connected unless I told it to do so. If I click on a button, let's say on my smartphone, it will switch from A to B to B and C. So it will disconnect, right? Makes sense, I hope. Okay, it costs around $2 as well. Also, we need some cable. I think it's like $5, but for like a whole bunch, like a lot of it. This is basically to connect the whole peripheral from one to another. And then what you need was your lamp's room electrical cable, like I explained earlier, the positives and the negatives. We need that. And then the Arduino case. It's not mandatory actually, but I think it's not really safe to having that Arduino board hanging around because it's metal, right? I think we'll get like electrocuted sometimes if we didn't really put it inside the plastic. Okay, let's start building how we were actually building this thing. I hope this will be clear enough. If it's not, the repo will be available on bit.ly/flutter lambripo with capital F, L, and R. Yeah, probably you guys can see this as well while listening to me. Okay, first we're going to the Arduino part. What will we need to do on the Arduino part? First is the schematics. The schematics is basically how this how will we connect the peripherals we have. For example, this in this project will be three: the Arduino, the infrared sensors, and then the relay, right? So I won't explain about general electrical here. Basically, we'll have to connect the ground and then the 5 volt from Arduino to each of the peripheral, and then next we have to connect the cable or the yeah, basically the cable for input or output transfer, data transfer. So basically the infrared sensor I will connect to pin 2 of the Arduino. This will be needed for the next step, which is the coding part. And then for the relay, I will connect it to pin 3. So remember, the pin 2 was for infrared, and then pin 3 was for relay, right? Okay. Okay, next was the Arduino code. First, we'll start with the variables. First, in order to actually make the infrared works, we'll have to import the library. This can be done via Arduino software. They have it on Windows, Mac, and Linux as well. You can do this easily. Just download the library and then type this code, hashtag include, and then iremote.h. And then next we have to define the pin that I explained about before. So basically the second pin, the number 2 pin was for the infrared sensor. And then the third pin, number 3, was for the relay. And then after that, we have to initialize the uh, library that we use, which basically take the pin number as a parameter. And then we have this one variable, which will basically hold the result of the signal, the infrared signal that we receive from, let's say, this smartphone. And then we have to save the state as well, right? So the Arduino knows if the lamp is currently on or off. The default will be on. Then next was the initialization part. So Arduino will always run this upon having an electricity included inside the Arduino board. So first, serial begin is basically just for communication. You will always need that in every Arduino project. And then second line was enabling the infrared receiver to actually start receiving signals from other from outside world. And then last line was we have to set the pin mode to output. So we have to do this. I think if we didn't really do this, the pin number 3 for the relay won't be set for output, and then we can basically turn on and off the lamp. We can do that. And then last part was the loop part. So this will be executed by the Arduino like infinitely. It is running right now. It is running like 2 seconds from now. Basically, always running. But the first thing that we do was we will check if there's an actual infrared signals that we have or we receive on the Arduino board. And if it actually is, we will transfer that signal into a variable called results. That is why there's an ampersand before the result on the third line. And then after that, if there is actually a signal, we will get the value of that signal, which is I'm doing by results.value, and then I'm printing it basically for debugging only. And then after that, we should check if the value is actually coming from our device. Let's say from this phone. Because why do we need to do this? Because if we don't really do this, So basically, other infrared remote can actually turn on our lamp. I'm not sure if we want to do that. If we, is okay with that, basically we can remove this if a value is not equals to 0x ff blah blah blah. This is basically just to make sure the that Arduino is only receiving it from my phone. And then basically it's a really simple code. If light state is 0, which means currently it's on, then we need to turn it off by writing this code digital write a relay, which is the pin number 3, and then we give it a high signal, and then else if it's actually like turned off right now, we should do the opposite. And then we had to add a delay here because apparently some device, especially for this one, actually sending the signal multiple times. I'm not really sure why, but for now, I'm handling it by giving a delay, so it will only take like one signal at a time. After 2 seconds, it will start receiving it once again. Next was the implementation. So this is basically the schematics that I shown before. We will connect the Arduino to the relay on pin 3, and then from the relay I will connect the port, two of the port to my negative and positive side of the cable for my lamp room. And then this was for the infrared receiver. We have to like put it outside so that it can actually receive the signal. Unless I think if it was covered by plastic, it won't actually get the signal, right? And then next, I hope that's clear enough for the Arduino part. Next was the Flutter part. So basically, this is the app flow. First, upon initialization of the app, we will check if the device has infrared transmitter or not, because it really makes no sense if we want to do this if the device has no infrared transmitter. For example, let's say I have another device here and it's not supporting IR transmitter, then basically I cannot turn on and off lamp from this device. So in that event, we will just show like a text saying that sorry, your device didn't really support infrared blaster, and then we didn't do anything. But if it actually support an infrared transmitter, we will check if there's a lamp state stored in the persistent data. Why? Because we want the app, the application, the phone to remember actual like state of the lamp, right? So we have to store it in persistent data. I use sharp reference. Probably some of you know that. Probably some don't. Basically, it will store a boolean true or false inside the mobile device. So next time we start the app again, it knows, oh, previously Angga has already turned off the lamp, or probably he's not. And then if there's none, there's no data inside the persistent data. That means the app is first being open. It haven't been opened before, and then it will show the default value of true, because once I put on the Arduino to my electricity, it will turn on the lamp. So the default value will be true, right? And then last, we will show lamp image. I have two lamp image, right, on the application. We'll see it later as well, based on the value. So if it's true, it will show the image of a lamp that is lighting basically, and if it's not, it will do the opposite. And last, for the button, upon clicking, let's say I click the button, it will set the new value to the persistent data, and then I will also transmit an event based on previous value. For example, if previous value is on, lamp is on, so now I have to turn it off, right? And then the opposite as well. So we need two libraries actually to do this application. First was IR sensor plugin. It's basically we'll call the IR libraries available on the Android side. It's only available on the Android, I think. And then next one was shop preferences. This is used to store the persistent data into our device. Okay, next was the implementation. This will be quite long actually. Okay, first we'll need to create or initialize a variable. First was to check if infrared is available or not. And then next was to check if the lamp is on or not, right? Infrared available was set default to false. And then lamp is on is set default to true because the lamp will be on by default, right? And then next was we initialize, we call the init method. What will it do is basically first check if the device has an infrared emitter or not, infrared blaster or not, by calling the plugin that I told in the previous slide. And then if it is, uh, and then it will set the state uh, on the Flutter side so that the image or probably the widget will be adjusted to show accordingly based on that value. And then we'll only process the next step only if infrared is available on the device, or else I think it doesn't matter, right? If it's not, if it doesn't have any infrared emitter. If it is, we will get the persistency. Let's say it will get the data from my previous session. So it will, fetch the data from my persistent storage, from my device, from my Android device, and then it will set the state true or false to the Flutter state. I won't explain about the set state, but yeah, basically it will set the value of the variable. Next was, this was the implementation of the get persistent state. It will basically just, get the shared preferences instance. And then if it already contains a key, we will just get that key. So that means the phone has previous session. If it's not, we will set the default value on the persistent data, which is true, because basically the default value for the lamp is true, right? Next was the in event of button click, we will call this function, which I name a transmit IR signal, which basically will call IR sensor plugin library that I tell you in the slide earlier, and it will transmit a list of integer. I already made this constants. You can see it in the repo as well. And then yeah, basically it will set the new state on and off, and then it will set the data to the persistent state so that it remembers in next session run. And for set persistent state implementation, basically yeah, just setting the value into the persistent memory on the device. And then last but not least, we will show the user uh, the widget that is based on if the infrared is available or not, or if it is, we will show them if the lamp is on or not. We will show it accordingly as well. Okay, so next was app demo. This will be just a short demo, right? Okay. Okay. So basically, okay, wait, let me restart the app real quick so you guys actually see. I hope this is big enough. Okay, first, it will check if the device has infrared blaster or not. This device actually has them, so it will show the next step, which is, seeing if the lamp is actually turned on or turned off. Let's say I turn off the lamp, so it's okay. Wait, let me turn off my second lamp here. Probably it's, yeah, basically it's turned off, right? And then if I click turn on again, it will turn on. But because of the delay that I told you in the previous slides, there is a chance that, let's say I click it like very rapidly. Basically the state on this application, which is showing the lamp is turned off, but actually my lamp room is turned on, right? So it's not syncing properly. So that is why I have this button called recalibrate lamp state, which basically will change the data into on again. Just a small demo. Okay, yeah, that is all for the implementation. Next would be the alternatives of this project. Probably you want to implement it, but with other means of communication or for other board as well. First was the communication medium. I already explained that I choose infrared basically because I think it was the like really simple communication medium. All it does was basically like looking for a light which is infrared, and if it is, it will receive it and then translate it or decode it, and then yeah, that's all right. It's very simple. Instead of, let's say, Bluetooth, for Bluetooth we have to like pair the devices, but this can be done on the Arduino as well. Arduino has already, I think, Bluetooth extensions, so you can also like receive Bluetooth signal on the Arduino as well. The main concept will I think more or less be the same. The only difference was the communication medium. Other than Bluetooth, you can also use REST API. You can connect Arduino, I think, with an RG45 cable or LAN cable, you might say. So it will connect to your home network, let's say, and then you build like web server, and then the device will just call a REST API, which will communicate to that web server, and then yeah, that's basically the same. The concept will be the same as well. The next was probably an NFC. Not sure if this can be done, probably from if the device is NFC, but I think theoretically it can be done. So basically, we can have like an NFC reader connected to the Arduino, and then let's say once we got inside a room, we can just connect the NFC to the NFC reader, and then boom, it will turn on the lamp or turn off the lamp. Basically, it can be done theoretically. Or probably if you prefer to use other electrical board, you can use it as well, such as Raspberry Pi. The concept will basically be the same. Okay, other ideas or improvement, including first, I think we can also connect the relay to more electrical device. As I already explained, I think I only use like one set of relay, right? But I can actually like add more relay inside the device, the project, and then let's say if I want to turn on my PS4, for example, or my monitor, or probably my air conditioning system with my phone, yeah, definitely we can do that. Next was probably not with infrared, but probably if we use like REST API, we can like schedule the use of electricity inside our room. Let's say we will check inside the Arduino board if the the clock is pointing to like day. Let's say like if it's already 6 a.m., turn off the light, and then basically after night, after 6 p.m., let's say, it will automatically like turn on the lamp. Yeah, theoretically that can be done as well. Next was, this is probably the most challenging part. I think this is theoretically can be done as well. You can control your home appliances from far away. Let's say if I were working from my office and then I want to turn on my air conditioning system from my office, so that when I actually get home, my room is already like cold enough, right? I can basically do that with this concept. Yeah, thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope that inspires some of you to actually explore this stuff. Probably after this, we'll go to the question sessions, and for the slides, I already uploaded to a server. Here is the link. Probably I will put it on YouTube as well, so you guys can click it easier. Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
Silanga. Thank you. That was really, really amazing. That was an amazing section. And your your amazing GIF, that was really cool. Keep
Thank
spreading the
you.
positivity, just like Angus said. Angus says, keep spreading the positivity across the social medias. Keep tweeting, keep showing excitement, and you could actually tag any of the organizers, the chapters, communities, and the speakers as well too. So thank you for your section. Amazing prices are going on. You could actually check that. Check it out. Then I think I should. SK, can you come in with questions so we could actually share? Now, can we go back to your first slide? Uh, Anga, can you go back
Oh,
to the first slide?
okay, sure, bro. Wait a minute. Okay, this one.
So, hey guys, we are still on this, and we are really excited to see that you've seen the question, the sections, amazing sections implementing simple IoT with Flutter and Arduino by a Hanger, and it's actually amazing to see that section. So we're going to share the link to resources and all that. But let's start with the questions because we have a few minutes for to take up session. So how do you check your mobile device support the iHeart transmitter Hanger? So first question to you, over to you.
Yeah, okay. So usually you'll have it like on the box of your mobile device. I think you can also just Google it and see if it's actually supporting infrared. Yeah.
Okay. Um. So can we have the next question? Any other
Sure.
question? Please drop your questions on the chat box. Feel free to drop your questions.
Oh, wait.
Feel free.
Slick, I think we also have a question from Slido as well.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so can we take up the questions from Slido?
Okay, I will answer this.
You switch more
Okay.
than one bulbs.
Okay. How do you switch more than one bulbs? So basically, how infrared works is, for example, for TV remote, we have like a lot of buttons, right? And all of those buttons have like a unique, like a really unique, let's say, like frequency on that exact button. So what you can do is you can, let's say, create like 2 or 3 buttons on inside your application, and then each of that button will like represents or transmit a different sets of frequency. And then let's say when I click button A, it will turn off my room lamp. On button B, it will turn off the outside lamp, or probably my living room lamp. And then yeah, basically we can do that. And then we also need more relay if we want to use more light bulbs.
Okay, so our next question is what is the distance between your mobile phone slash app to the infrared relay?
Yeah, good question, good question. Yeah, so this is the limitation of the infrared. I think it cannot be like more than a few meters, probably 5 meter top. But I think because usually room is not that that big. I think at least 5 meter is still okay. But in my case, I think it's like only 1.5 meter. Yeah, really close.
Okay, thank you for that. So about 1 meter close, and uh, the next question is: are there any precautions to take before building such system?
Yeah.
Did you-
Yes. Thank you for the question. Definitely, yeah. To be honest, I got electrocuted a few times when implementing this. Definitely because it is directly connected to my home electric circuit, right? I think the best practice would be like turn off your electrical circuit, probably like let's say in your only for your room or probably for your whole home. And then once you do that, you can just connect the cable for your LAN, for example, for inside to the relay. So yeah, I think after that, that is like way safer than what I did.
Okay. So thank you for that. So what other devices can you connect Flutter to besides lamps? The
Okay, yeah. For devices that you can connect to Flutter beside lamps, I think any electrical device will do. Basically
servers.
everything. Yeah, drones as well. But I think like other electrical components or appliances like have different communication flow, right? I think for drones, probably what we can do, let's say if the drone can be communicated with like a web server or REST API, you definitely can do that. So the Flutter side will communicate to the REST API, and then the REST API will communicate to drone. Let's say that that is the case. Or probably if the drone can use Bluetooth, let's say, then we can use that as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank
That's
you, Anga, for that. So somebody said, can we use Bluetooth instead of infrared?
yes. Yes, good question as well. The answer is yes. Definitely, we can use Bluetooth instead of infrared. I think there's a package on Flutter as well on pub.dev called Flutter underscore blue. We can use that, but then you will need like a Bluetooth extension for the Arduino. So yeah, you will have to do that. But yeah, that can be done.
Okay, that was an amazing section, and can we have the demo in your room right now?
Right now?
Yes, is it connected? The bulb in your room?
Yes. Sure, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, wait a minute. Wait, I'll have to turn off my other lamp. Yeah, basically, yeah, usually it was like very, very handy if I was like already in bed, but like so lazy to get onto the switch, right? So I can just
Hey,
use open this app and then that's it. Yeah.
hey guys, you can see the live demo of Flutter lamp turning off the room and off in your room. You can see how Anga just did that amazing stuff. Isn't that amazing? So our next question is asked by Ola Stavern. What is the full meaning of REST instead of Bluetooth?
Okay.
You should
Yeah. For REST API, I think
REST is
if you know backend development, it's basically backend development, right? Let's say if you use Django or Laravel, that is basically REST API. So we can use that API that is built by backend and then communicate it with the Flutter app. And then, yeah, that's basically exchanging the communication between the infrared with that backend or REST API.
okay, amazing. Okay, so thank you for that question.
Sure, sure.
Um, so the next person is do you have another question? So I think we don't have any other questions again. Let me check through. SK, do you have any question from Slido? Is there any link to Slido's feedback for these amazing sections from Hangar? So so if you still have question, so we're still checking. If you still have questions before Hanga, you still have. So feel free to reach out to Hanga on his on Twitter. He could actually answer you. He put out his mail. Do we have a slide for your contacts and your social media so people could actually reach out to you and we could know if
Yeah, sure.
it's to you. So we can pull out the slide.
So I upload it to my server. Wait. I think. Okay, I will chat inside the uh, live chat on the YouTube. Hope you guys can see that.
Okay, so recommend Flutter and IoT courses so that they could actually get started. So Flutter, Anga, what will you actually have to recommend for new persons trying to, or developers trying to actually get this same thing done in a similar way? Maybe do you have a demo code on GitHub? Do you have courses to recommend for them to share their amazing stuffs and all that on Flutter? Please go on.
Yeah, for the course, for basic Flutter, I think the Angela U course that you guys have been talking about was like really, really good. I also uh, enroll to Angela Yu's course. I think not on Flutter, but on other part. But yeah, she's a really, really good teacher. So yeah, I'd recommend that. That will be like great.
Okay, thank you for that. Any more one more question to take? One more question. One more question. So, okay, no more question, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, so what will you what will you say to newbie developers that are trying to do Flutter? What will you tell them, and what's the advice you're going to give to them before you go hang out?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I already shared my slide on the live chat on the YouTube. You can, take a look at that and then, see my Twitter handle, my email as well. If you have any like doubts or probably any questions, feel free to ask to me. I will try my best to answer as fast as I can. But I think, in my opinion, learning Flutter is like probably really really blissful for me. I also learned Android native development at first, but I think it's quite hard relatively to Flutter. Flutter is like really really simple stuff. We can make amazing applications like I just did with really minimal code, and then yeah, the experience is just really really awesome. Also with web and desktop coming in as well, I think the future is good for Flutter. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Anga, for joining this. Your section is what people have actually been looking up to, and so much comment and excitement um, on the chat box telling you amazing section. Thank you for doing this. And people are really showing excitement. Thanks, Anga, for learning nothing about IoT today. We're really glad. And we have to hope to have you more again one of these days in our nearest future. So thank you so much for joining this, and we are having more stuff coming on the way. So regards and kudos to everyone. So Hanga, so say goodbye to people so we could actually go to the next section.
Okay, thank you guys. Also, thank you Slick, and then all the organizers that have been, organizing this event. This is like a really awesome event. Just keep it coming. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye. Hi guys. Still the we're still live at the Flutter Live, and we're having some exciting stuff coming on way. So I would like some of the other organizers to join me in the studios. We have some amazing organizers joining in, and it's actually going to be more amazing here right now. Hi, David. Can you say hi to the camera? So we are going to the fireside, and we are going to be winning some exciting things now. So stay
Hi.
glued to the screen, stay glued to the chat box. we have amazing stuff coming on board. Some of the
Oh,
sections owned by David. David, what do you have to say? So much freebies today.
hello everyone. My name is David Oluwabusaya, the GDG lead for Ado Ekiti. Yeah, I'm very, very excited and happy to be here today. See the people turning out. Awesome session from Rihanna, and the most anticipated of the whole session from Anger, and very cool. I so much appreciate all the speakers for coming up and deliver an awesome session. And I hope everybody has learned one or two things. And I see some of the freebies has been sharing already, if I'm not wrong. So whatever question that at least we have 20 Angela U master course. Then we have two ID license, JetBrains ID license worth $500 each. And I so much believe whoever won any of those freebies should please make good use of it. Please make good use of it, because at least $10, where it is small though, but at the same time, is a big money. At least if some people can volunteer to do that, and I won't really love if some people just get the code for getting sake and they don't do anything on it. So I will appreciate if you are lucky to get any of the freebies, please make good use of it. And if anybody is looking for an avenue to kickstart a career in Flutter, you can easily reach out to any of the organizers or ask for any community near to you, and join their community and ask for whoever is into Flutter there. Because I find Flutter very, very amazing. At least I've been using Flutter for a while now. It's quite amazing and interesting. So for now, that's all from me, because we almost run out of time. Thank you so much. Thank you, the co-organizers. Thank you, everybody, for joining in.
Thank you, David. It's good to have you. So, hi, SK. So, SK, are you ready for the section? So, we just dropped another freebie, another $10. Angela U Flutter course, fattest finger now. We just did that. So, check your screen. Go on straight on the driver. If you are the winner of the first one and you have not shared the excitement, or tell us who won the first coupon, we are on you actually. We might actually going to go back and block you. So I think you should. If you win this, please make sure you actually share your exam on Twitter and on the chat sections as well too. So let's get over to you for your section, question and answer section, so we could share more freebies on.
Thanks for having me, Slick, and hello everyone. Yeah, so for this session, it's just going to be very brief, and we're not going to ask much. It's going to be based on the two sessions. Yeah. So the first question is just list about three things you know about Flutter. Just three things you know about Flutter. Just drop your comments on the chat, and we'll pick it up from there. Three things you know about Flutter. That's number one question. Okay, I think while you are dropping the chat, I'll move on to the second one. So we'll display it on the screen. The second one is Okay, first question is gone. The second one is, yeah, what engine did the web platform use to render? What engine? Hmm. Am I seeing any? Am I seeing anything? Okay, one. So the third question is, what are the tools used for the implementation of Flutter and then IoT? So from Anga session, yeah, just three tools, three equipment also. Okay, please, David, you can pick the answers. So we're going to pick it orderly. So the first person to answer is going to. So
Fattest finger on the screen. So if we have shared three Angela U $10 worth Angela U courses right now, and we have not heard anybody saying I won it. We are going to stop sharing if you don't know the winner. We will not share. I'm sorry, we will not be able to share more if we are not seeing winner. Anybody saying I won this or I won that. So basically, maybe we're going to throw it to people that ask questions, and we're going to be specific and direct with people who won the course. So if you're part of people that won, this is the third one I'm sharing. So please just click on the link and share your excitement. Over to you, SK.
okay, so the first question that we asked, that is, what are three things you know about Flutter? So I have a lady that won the question. She said inbuilt widget, one, awesome UI, two, and easy to build. That's three. So she actually won it. That's Kelechi Egualia. So that's the winner of the first question. The second one
Big
is
shout out Eluagu for winning the Flutter and the courses. So if you actually answer a lot of questions, you'll be able to win two or answer two or three questions as a person. So you might be the next winner for the JetBrains 500 worth of $500 IDs of any of the JetBrains IDs, be it PyCharm, be it the Android IDs, the general IDs. So you might win a $500 worth here today as well too. So congratulations to Kelechi. So Kelechi, please drop your mail and your Twitter handle in the chat box so we can take it off from there.
okay. For the second question, I couldn't get any answer really. Quiet. I don't know. I couldn't get any answer. So the answer is for web, it's used the .ui render engine. So that's what Flutter used to render for web. Yeah, that's the engine they use for. So I don't have anybody that got that. So I own the swag for that question. So the third question, the person that got it is okay. So this is the winner of this third question. He said Arduino mobile device and actuator. Yes. Yeah. So that's all on the session. Over to you, Sleep. Sleep, you're muted.
So big congrats to the first person, which is Kelechi and Wagu, and we'll reach out to you via Twitter to drop you your course. Congratulations. Congratulations to Ayawo for winning the next questions. We're going to reach out to you for the next section as well too. So please drop your email and your handle. I'm not seeing Kelechi, the first girl winner, Gmail. Okay, I got it now. So SK, please, can you note their Gmails and their handles so we can actually send them winning stuff as well too. So we're going to check. SK can go ahead to check one of the top 10 tweets on Twitter, so we can actually pick winners as well too and share them their stuff. So more cool stuff's coming your way at the same time. So we also have one of the most engaging attendees today. I can't remember his name. I think it's been a while he dropped message. So we have Ola Stevan. We could put Ola Stevan on screen. Congratulations to Ola Stevan. You please drop your email and drop your handle as well too, so we could actually reach out to you. We just won yourself $10 worth, Angela Yu. Then we still have some people that have been very. So SK can help us do that to find one of the most amazing winners today, so we could actually go ahead. So next section is going to be a quick discussion. So joining us on the screen is another Flutter expert developer who has been doing Flutter for a while, building apps, and he has considerably been doing some good stuffs. And we're going to have a short 2 minutes, a 3-minute chat with him to share you his experience at Flutter, and he maybe public demo app on Flutter as well too. So so welcome to you joining me on the screen right now. So you can actually describe your experience in one word, just in one word, describe your experience, either awesome, beautiful, in one word, describe your experience you have today. We're going to pick some of the things there. So follow this link, Slido link, and describe your experience as well. Beautiful. Hi, Rotimi.
Hello.
Can you unmute? If you know, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you. Welcome. We're so glad to have you. So we are really good at this process section. So we are going to be having a quick conversation about your experience as a Flutter developer. And do you have possibly a demo app for us today? So please introduce yourself and tell us what you got for us.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Slick, for this opportunity to be here. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, please.
That's good. So thank you for the opportunity given to be here. My name is Olaoshibikon Rotimi from Nigeria. I'm a software developer. I love building apps with Flutter. I've done a lot of work, and it has been an amazing journey as a developer. Moving from one kind of environment to Flutter environment, and I really want to say it has been so lovely building as a Flutter developer now. It has been so awesome. So I would like to share most of my working experience with you, and also to help those who really want to grow as a developer here in Nigeria and also outside the country. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you, Rotimi, for coming on to see. So the first question is, for how long have you been doing Flutter, and how easy was it for you to learn Flutter, and what was your first experience building the first app like?
Oh, thank you so much. I started Flutter 2 years ago when I was introduced into the framework itself. And sincerely, porting into Flutter wasn't easy. Let me just put it that way. It wasn't easy because Flutter actually was my first mobile app. I hope you get it. But I've been developing for other frameworks. But when I actually joined the Flutter community, it wasn't that really easy at the first instance. But over time, you need to learn the new language. You need to start building stuff, and it became easier for me when I actually built so many applications. You get to know something. So in my 2 years experience now as a Flutter developer, not in any other language, as a Flutter developer, uh, I would say starting it wasn't easy, but along the way, when I actually started doing a lot of stuff, it became easier and lovely. Let me just put it that way. It requires a lot of work. You need to study, you need to go into some communities, you need to ask questions, and you need to start building stuffs. You don't just learn and keep it to yourself. You just need to start building stuff. That actually makes you become a better developer, and also it helps you to acquire a lot of skills while doing it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rotimi, for showing us that amazing quick one. So please, you could actually drop your questions. If you have your questions to drop for our invited guests. So quickly drop it so we can actually have it on board. So the second to last question is so you doing Flutter, what was the resources you used to get started, and what fast track your learning process, and you building Flutter app?
Okay, to start with, I had to join a community of developers. Okay, I started from GDG, that is Google Developers Group. Okay, from there I went to Udemy. I got my I registered for a class then on Udemy. I just wanted to know the core concept of Flutter itself before I start building, and I got myself into a mentorship program then by one of my mentor in Brazil. So from there, I started building stuff. I had to join a class, I had to ask a question, and we're given assignment then. Even being not just uh, an expert then, but as a starter, beginner, we were given stuff to do, and we started building stuff. Then that was why I said it wouldn't come easier, but over time, you just keep learning. You need to join communities. Okay, you need to go to the Flutter.io, Flutter.dev. You need to just ask questions, build stuff, and get resources. But I started from Google Developers Group. Then from Google Developers Group, I joined Flutter Developers Community, from which I learned a lot of stuff from people, and also I went on to register at Udemy to for the advanced class of Flutter. So those were my learning paths, okay, my learning curve to better my knowledge when it comes to Flutter app development.
Okay, thank you very much. So do you have a demo app you want to share with us?
Yes, I have a demo app I would like to share with team. Okay, what my demo app is coming up.
Okay, so well, as we're waiting for the demo app, we are a lot of people are winning some exciting stuff. If you're part of it, big shout out and congratulations to you and your people. Anyone winning this, be more engaging. Tweet about it on Twitter. Do a screenshot. Show excitement for winning some of the amazing stuff today. So make sure you stay connected, and we are still dishing out stuff. Congratulations to Ibera and amazing people. So we have a question. So how long does it take one to master Flutter and start releasing production apps?
Okay, for you to start building Flutter, normally you don't just jump into building Flutter. Flutter has an engine called DAT. Okay, Flutter is just a framework. It has an engine called DAT. You need to understand that language. That's the first step. Okay, you need to study, the DAT language itself. Once you're done studying that, that is when you can go into the Flutter framework. And there are a lot of classes that in a week you should be able to learn that. Yes, if you really dedicate yourself to learning, in a week you should be able to learn that. Then after that week, then you go into the Flutter. But your knowledge of that is very, very important as a developer before you start building Flutter application. Maximum of 2 weeks, at least 2 weeks, you should be able to start doing something with Flutter. But for beginners, you need to understand the core concept of programming itself. Okay, because when you get to that, you talk more about objects, you talk more about classes. Okay, you talk more about inheritance, all these stuffs you need to understand, polymorphisms, all this stuff you need to understand first before going into this part. Not that you can't really build, okay, stuffs, but your background must be solid first. So I would just recommend that you start uh, learning the core concepts or the beginner's guide on that. From then after that, you now go into learning Flutter framework itself. So with the learning curve, you should make things easier in 2 weeks of learning.
Okay, so can we have your screen now? Is your screen up
Yes,
for the
the
demo?
app is coming up. The app is coming up. Okay, let us share my screen from the mobile device itself.
So we still have we are still in the mood of winning. Uh, so so show some excitement on Twitter if you're winning stuff. Show some excitement and also also be engaging on the Twitter. We are still giving out more stuff and all that. So I think we have a bit stuff, a big of this coming on, and we are having so while the app is trying to come on, so we're going to have SK back on the platform, so it could actually take us up and give us the result, the polls from the Twitter, the top tweets and the most engaging people on Twitter. So stay connected here so that we can have your meal and we can have your. So I'm going to be dropping one more last coupon for you guys. So be watchful on the chat now. So we are still in the mood of winning. We keep winning, guys. So I'm going to be dropping another. I'm going to be dropping another coupon right now. So if you are the winner, stop saying it's not used. All these coupons are free and never been used. So if you're the winner, let us know. Let us know. Fattest finger, we're dropping now. So make sure you stay connected. And congratulations to everyone winning. So here goes another one. So we are picking most engaging participants. A lot of people winning stuff, showing excitement. This is beautiful, and we have somebody won. Congrats to Kilish for being the first person to win the $500. I think he won this as one of the most engaging performance in this webinar, which is actually thrilling and intriguing, I have to say that. So congratulations to you. Another one has been dropped. So if you are able to claim this, let us know if you're the winner. So we keep dropping. So good vibes, everyone. Good vibe, good vibes. So I think we're out of time right now. So and we'll have to have SK back to take his final speech. So SK, what do we have? Do we have the most engaged participant on Twitter? Anything to show people's excitement and all that? So we could actually pick the winner.
All right, thanks for having me. From the tweet, I have at this is undo. I'm gonna post it now. So at Akim Bensi, yeah, at Akim Bensi.
Okay, Akim Ben, congratulations! You just won yourself another $10 Andrela U Master Flutter Cloth. Congratulations!
I have
Congratulations to Joseph. Is one of the most engaging.
and one more to go. It's really Ninja Tech girl, yeah. Yes.
Ninja Tech Girl has won 2 already. Ninja Tech Girl is the winner of Adeleyu, the first one, and also the winner of. Can we have another person in place of Ninja Tech Girl? We already won everything, so she's just everywhere. Amazing! Congratulations again. You were part of the winner on Twitter. Ninja Tech Girl. That's amazing. Kelechi Iluago. Congratulations.
I have
So I think we should have.
Lemo of Teams. Yeah, that's the last most engaging guy on Twitter. Yeah. So that's all from the Twitter PM poll. So now back to our
So can somebody
sharing of experience in one word poll. Let's see what our results are. So let me do this by sharing my screen.
So okay, share your experience on the poll so we can see the result. SK, you can put it on the screen so we'll see the result. Share your experience. So tell us one amazing things on the chat box. So we want to drop another winner. I want to have another winner. We still have more stuff to give out. We don't know how we want to give you because you have not been engaging enough. So if you are, so let's look through who is engaging right now. So we are dropping another one. So we're dropping another one again. We got some amazing stuff like awesome, nicely organized and awesome. Thank you. Interesting, motivating, wonderful, informative, fantabulous. Yeah, we have some fantabulous here as well too. So congratulations to everyone that have been winning. I think we have so much few people left to. So so we are picking 2 more females from the chat box, and then we'll pick 2 more guys as well too on the last 10 chat box. So my first one is congratulations to uh, uh, somebody just won another Andela U course. So congratulations to you. Please drop your email. So congratulations to you. Then another person that is winning, please show your excitement. Tweet at me on Twitter at MeetSlick. if you are winning, please, other organizers, please drop your handles on so we could actually know who people are really showing their excitement. Another second person is congratulations to Ade Soji for winning another coupon. Please drop your mail. So we are picking the next guys winning this. Okay, so let's see the first guys that first dropped. Interesting. So congratulations to Jan Roya. And okay, Joseph Olusoya. Please drop your mail. So please, lastly, say some amazing things on Flutter. So we could pick what you've learned today, compile what you've learned today from the two sections, and we're going to pick the best 5 comments, share them the winner. So drop what you have learned today on the chat box, so we could actually you can actually pick the winner. So congratulations to the first 3 people that dropped. So we have another winner. So Clever Melu has won. So then we have so say some exciting things about it. Say some exciting things, what you have learned today, so we can pick some more winners. Okay, so we are coming to the end of it. We are wrapping up with the final freebies for the day. So if you are still with us, if you have dropped your mail, please drop your mail and make sure we actually get everyone here. So we are having all the organizers coming on board to say a goodbye remarks to everyone from across the globe joining or across Africa. It has been an exciting day, and I have my 3 dashlets here to oppress everyone. So it's actually been an exciting day. So hi David, hi Gospel. So show some excitement to the screen and let's
Hi everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
So congratulations to everyone. Drop your feedback, and we're going to send out mails to everybody that actually joined this section, so you could actually drop your feedback as well. And if you have won something today, you have actually been amazing doing that, and big congratulations to you. Keep tricking, #Cluster Jam, #Cluster, Flutter Day as well too. So we are still going to pick other amazing winners at the same time on the tweet. Keep tweeting. We are going to pick other winners from our Twitter channel. So thank you so much for joining this section, and bye from me, SK. David, bye from me.
Bye-bye.
Bye everyone. Bye.
All right, bye. Thank you all for coming.
Bye, everyone.